So it's kind of terrifying.
I
It's
think
like
that might be your new name at Thanos Crypto, and you just
at
get real dark about stuff.
sparkthanos.com.
Spark. Oh God.
How do you set goals? You know, it's pretty ambitious. He's like, I just wanted to be a farmer. I was like, me too. I got into this because the world was going to the hell in a handbasket. That's literally why I started my business. I get you, bro. Like, I get you. I get you, bro. So
This
real
is
quick,
terrifying.
before we get into
Yeah, this is
shitcoin
dark.
season, first off, how is Austin, Jarrett, our man on the street?
Austin is good. It's an entire city in Tejas named after Austin. So there's that.
Yeah, let's go.
In
I got a whole city
Tejas.
named after me.
I was literally processing what you were saying in Tejas. I was like, maybe it was the state of Tejas. Wait, that's a Mexican state. What are we talking? Texarkana.
Wait, that's a Mexican state. I was watching this. My buddy, my Colombian, very politically charged friend. He's a poet. He's an author. He's a philosopher. He sent me this video earlier, and it was some conservative in the United States talking about how when Mexicans are in Texas, they're illegal, which you should use undocumented. No humans illegal. And this other guy was like, wasn't that Mexican land we stole from them?
Yeah.
And aren't your ancestors? Anyways, it went down like a very dark path really quick. So it kind of played into the crypto Thanos that we have today. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, man. Like,
but it's good.
I mean,
it's good.
It's good. And like the conference didn't start today. The conference starts tomorrow.
Yeah, no. So I call this day 0. So the conference does start tomorrow. Day 1's tomorrow, and it's the same format: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I got the swag bag, and there's some cool stuff in here. There's this thing called, and I guess I'll give them a free shout out, but it's called book.io. Redeem for an NFT ebook you truly own. Blockchain based, unchangeable, unburnable, unbannable.
And can I resell it and make money? Do I own it?
But can I flip it?
No.
What's
I mean
the floor price?
No.
Yeah, what's the floor of your book, sir?
Jackie says, yo. Jackie, you know what? I think this is the first time Jackie has actually been a live viewer, right?
Jackie
or have you been a lurker?
Yeah, Jackie
lurker.
doesn't like to watch us live. It's too much. It's like
it's
dopamine overload, you know?
I feel like we break people's heads.
But like not in a good way, you know? Not like we've explained quantum physics so they understand a black hole. Like the opposite of whatever that is.
Allison says, sorry I'm late. I've been talking with RP and Real Vision Discord. Raul Paul.
Nice.
And Real Vision, you've just been talking with him. That's like low key. That's a humble brag.
Is that a humble brag? I feel like that's a humble brag.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Allison.
Raul Paul was just texting me saying I was just talking to AA in the Discord. What up?
Yeah, I was just talking to A squared in the Discord.
But no, on this book.io, do I own the rights to it? By I mean selling it. Like, can I resell copies of it? Jackie,
I'm not sure. I mean, you guys,
we
should all open it.
Time ago, Jackie.
My head was broken. Yeah, if you listen to the episode, Jackie, and then off mic, Jackie was just like, "The space is so crazy, I can't keep up." But Jackie's literally one of the most well-spoken about crypto and Web3 I think I've ever met. She just knows everything and has done everything. So, but Grant, on the back of this for the book IO, it says, "Is a multi-chain Web3 marketplace for buying, reading, and selling decentralized ebooks and audiobooks." More books available on Algorand, Ethereum, Polygon, and Cardano. This is pretty cool.
I'm into this because I'm nerd about books. In fact, Jackie and I were talking about like nerd alert on books. And like, I don't know about you guys, but since I've been talking to her, I've got like 45 books. I got like 3 books on order from Amazon. But if we could actually bridge this world, that's really interesting that I'll look into. And then Allison says, why do you have 2 beds behind you?
He's at consensus. Because,
you guys couldn't make up a better story than that.
I wanted to let the tension boil a little bit.
Yeah. Come on. Me and my partner are having issues. We got 2 beds.
Yeah, exactly. We're having such big issues. The therapist said, get separate queens.
But in the same room.
But in the same room, yeah. We need to be in the same energy, you know.
Yeah. I mean, if you want tension, like he's secretly being held hostage, and the other bed is for the person that is guarding him.
Yeah,
that's
there you go. Yeah,
true.
it's the bodyguard, Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
I've seen
They
that
have 23 of my 24 words, so they're trying to get that last word out for the seed phrase.
Trying to
and
get
then-
that seed phrase. And then Brian Notton, this is the most innocuous
New
background.
wallpaper. Oh my god. He's a fan of I Love Lucy. Dude, the chat is on fire. Everyone's just
Fun
enjoying
fact.
themselves right now.
Fun fact, George, and George knows this, but fun fact, I Love Lucy was the first time they showed people in bed together in the same room, and their beds were pushed up against each other, and this like broke the television
Is that
webs.
true though? Is that true? Did that happen before? Because in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but it wasn't like
Did
sexual.
I Love
They were all-
Lucy happened before Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah, which one came first? I don't know. I'm
Bro,
assuming I Love Lucy
by
but I don't know.
decades? I Love Lucy, hands down.
My bad.
Hands down.
My bad. My bad, Grant. I didn't know you were there producing I Love Lucy.
And Natalie NLC.
Wow, NLC on LinkedIn.
What? I feel honored.
It's getting
Chat
hot
is
here.
bumping today.
So real quick, she probably came because we're talking about shitcoin season, which
Yeah,
is
she
what we're going
literally
to talk
she
about.
never listens. She never listens.
She opened a
had to-
LinkedIn account just to watch
Just to watch us talk
shitcoin.
about shitcoin season.
And that is an example of Natalie's degree of FOMO. If you watch her Twitter account,
Yeah,
you
that's
know
true.
how much.
If you have like a little bit of alpha and it's like it's on a string and it's over, there's just like 300 alligators. She'll go
Yeah.
for it. She'll swim for it.
So I'm in.
Buddy.
We'll call that the croc. It's the croc fund, or it's the croc coin. So let's talk about it, since that's what people are here to talk about. We do have a lot to talk about. Aussie has like an article that's important for us to touch on
Yes.
about what's going on with the Argentinian bank. But I think to satisfy the crowds, let's actually talk a little bit about.
Let's talk about the beds.
The bed. No, what's going on?
I'm going
is-
to tokenize each one. And you can buy shares of the beds.
He'll tokenize. You just got to buy a ticket, Natalie, who is shilling for tickets, and we got extra space apparently behind us.
Natalie, you can choose your bed.
Yeah, by the window or by the closet, you pick.
Yeah.
So real quick, let's start off with something fun to the viewers and to you guys first, and we'll talk to ourselves first. But like, tell us in the comments, people, what was the best and worst shitcoin play you've done in any shitcoin season? And gentlemen, I'll start with you. Best and worst. I know
shitcoin.
Jarrett's.
Well, I like how you say in any shitcoin season, as though there are like.
There are
I mean,
multiple.
yeah,
This is our second shitcoin season.
This is it.
But-
Wait.
No, but
Wait.
I feel like the shitcoin season. So the shitcoin season in 2017 happened. It peaked in
Yes.
2017, 2018,
Okay,
and
so
on the way down.
three shitcoin seasons. Three shitcoin seasons.
Yeah, I
then.
was gonna say I think this is the third, and like last time it was called altcoin season.
Oh,
because
yeah.
no,
Bitcoin
okay,
Maxis-
so see, I disagree. There is a difference between
altcoins
altcoin
and then there's
season
shitcoins.
and there's
Yeah, let's-
shitcoin season.
Or can
Okay,
you
Okay,
let me
well,
define
let's
that
define
down.
terms. Let's define terms. Aussie, you're calling for 3 shitcoin seasons. Then you and this isn't an annual thing. So what is your definition?
This
or what is it?
conversation is so ridiculous, guys.
What is it correlate? We are not doing any good for the crypto culture. I promise to the serious people, the old heads who care about the growth of this industry. We'll talk about something useful in a quick moment, but we just got to get the jitters out.
Natalie,
Yeah,
ya sabes, ahí está tu cama.
yeah. You need to put her Nakamigo over there. So Aussie, how are you defining shitcoin season as it correlates to the market? I think that's the correlation you're calling.
Yeah.
Or-
so
or-
shitcoin
or-
season.
But
Okay,
wait,
go.
Aussie, can you define the difference between a shitcoin and altcoin? Because I think you're right.
So altcoins are actual projects that are actually trying to do something. They might be not great projects. They might be like they're any alts, anything lower than ETH, or even you can include ETH in 2017 altcoin season.
Okay.
Yes.
So anything that isn't Bitcoin, but is maybe like a Matic, Atom, or anything like that would be considered altcoin season. That's altcoin season.
Okay.
And when those are taking
Okay.
off while Bitcoin's being stagnant, that's altcoin season.
Okay.
Shitcoin season is when regular alts, so regular alts are bleeding right now. So anything ETH and under is bleeding. Bitcoin is kind of stagnant, and these meme coins, so these coins that literally actually have no value, no use case, nothing.
It's so hard.
Go ahead.
This is
I'm so sorry.
Austin is giving a TEDx on the difference between a
That's what I'm
shitcoin and a meme
thinking.
coin, and Brian
like-
Naughton, a philosopher from across the pond, slides in with just.
Yes,
I
that's great.
actually agree. I agree.
Yes, that I agree, and I wouldn't consider Shiba a shitcoin in this season.
I'd agree. I agree.
It's graduated.
And so meme coins. So if we think about current shitcoin season, we're looking at Pepe. We're talking about Wojak. We're talking about Gensler.
Gensler, make 50% on Gensler.
And then, oh god, there's been a million other ones. If we think back to 2021, and end of the bull run 2021, Bitcoin had kind of pulled back to between 55 and 60K. That's about when we kind of hit shitcoin season. There was a million random coins that had no value whatsoever, and they just took off. Everything else is stagnant, and randomly these little tokens are taking off because there's no money to be made in alts or Bitcoin at the moment. At the moment, everything is just kind of holding steady, and so people are basically trying to harness what's left of potential to make money in the market.
Man.
So Aussie, what's been your biggest shitcoin play, meme coin play, altcoin play? Yeah, or just talk to us about your experience and the traumas and trials and tribulations.
The trauma.
Oh god, I'm trying to think of my best shitcoin play. I did something in 2020. At the end of the last bull run, I got into something that was like a DeFi project. So it was actually like, it wasn't fully a shitcoin, but like was 100% not viable, was 100% like everyone knew. I got in at whitelist, and everyone kind of knew it was like buy it at whitelist, dump it at launch, and make a 5x.
Buy it at whitelist, dump it at launch. Jeez, it's hard for me to beat that. Yeah, what was that?
What was it?
Oh god, let me see if I still have the Discord for it. I don't even remember the name of it because that was the practice at the time. Was get in at whitelist, dump at launch, and I did that for like 5 or 6 projects.
Oh my god, you were a true degen. If I had a like a soundboard, I would give you the degen sound, and I don't know what it would be. It would probably be a Pepe crying or something like that. Jarrett, I can predict yours. Go ahead and share yours, but then also share any others.
Yeah, so Wonderland Time still traumatizes me because like it was a lot of money. But
we became friends.
Yeah, okay. I would also define Time Wonderland as a shitcoin.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not at all. It's not a shitcoin. It's not even an altcoin. It's not a meme coin. It was a DeFi play where I lost money. What was a shitcoin and what was a meme coin, but I think have graduated from those two into my altcoin, which was a great play, was Dogecoin. I still have a good amount of Doge.
Yeah.
And I got it under a cent, and it's been a fun time. Yeah. And I think that Doge, and I just outlined this, I think you guys may have checked that episode out with Jackie. Doge isn't going anywhere. I think it's a very serious project. It's a fork from Bitcoin. It's still proof of work.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going anywhere. Now, I know it may have some inflation issues, but it's the one that like Mark Cuban was like, let's let you buy Dallas Mavericks season tickets with it. I think it will be the one for micropayments that Twitter will use.
I agree.
It's also memey. It's also kind of fun. And so anyways, I just think this entire conversation is a fantastic conversation because these are like, so I was talking to George yesterday.
Yeah.
When I was traveling, George and I had a really quick call. We were talking about like some more serious things.
George Pate?
No, George
Tortorella.
And we were talking about some more serious things. And then at the end, he's like, hey, let's get your opinion on this. And I didn't know where it was going to go. I didn't know if he was going to ask about my queen bed situations. And then he's like, what do you think about Pepe? And I was like, oh my God. So,
Oh.
I mean, Pepe's a fascinating thing. And I know a guy who's gone up 6X maybe, and then took the money out and kept the house money in. And it's just house money at this point, and he's out. And, I think that there are projects, if your ear is to the grindstone,
Yes.
if you want to grind Discords, if you want to live on Twitter for the 24 to 48 hours when they're going to pump and dump, good on you. Make the money. You're getting paid because you are the closest to alpha you're closer to alpha than anyone else is.
Yeah.
The second you buy in, when any crap coin, shit coin, whatever has gone more than 1x or 100%, your exit liquidity, and you just don't know it yet, because you're going to get in and then you're going to hold long enough that you're going to end up losing, because you're going to think, oh, this is a dip and it's gone. I tell people all the time not to do it unless they really have their ear to the grindstone. And I've only known a couple people who've been able to do this.
Yeah, a really key point there. And so I did shitcoin season at the end of the last bull run.
Did you get a medal?
No, I don't want a medal.
We need to start badging. We need to come up with meme coins based on shit coins that are badging for those who lost money.
Yeah, it's a POAP. It's a POAP, because there needs to be more like Discords. It's
a POAL, proof of loss, right? Like
proof of wreckness.
Yeah. Oh my God. But it started to be it's shit. The thing that happens with shitcoin season, and I've been watching shitcoin season this season from a distance.
This is such a ridiculous conversation, guys. I just keep coming in and out of reality, and I'm like, think we're serious people talking about coins that we refer to as shit coins.
But it started off like being able to sell, like you waited to sell for 5x from launch. Basically from whitelist to launch, you were expecting a 5x.
Generational wealth.
Yeah, exactly. 5x. Let's go. Easy. Every single time.
Maple syrup by the acre.
Oh, fucking Lord. Oh God. But
I do think a future iteration. Okay, just to everyone, we've been talking very seriously off mic about how we tokenize. What can we do with the blockchain to actually make community, and not make faux community, not make floor price community, but like maybe there's a situation where we just create like a Carmen San Diego, and like one of the last things to get by the boss is you have to collect a certain amount of maple syrup before like the boss gets you, like. Anyways, just putting it out there.
Anyways,
my goodness.
So, and then by the end, you were like hoping for a 2x. If you got a 2x at launch, like the expectation was, okay, you got to get at least half out at 2x. Like that's all you can expect.
Yeah.
Then you might get a little bit of a rally from there if you're lucky. And then, but if you didn't realize, oh, okay, we're not even hitting 2x anymore at launch, that's when shitcoin season's over.
Oh,
and
interesting.
People started getting burned because people were buying.
People were always getting burned.
People were always getting burned.
The inside people were getting burned.
Yeah, inside people were getting burned at that point, because now
Ponzi was getting burned.
The top of the Ponzi's getting screwed.
Even the top of the Ponzi, because what started happening is people started projects just started rugging at that point more.
Yeah, obvious rugs. Yeah.
Yeah, obvious rugs just started happening more often. You started seeing they were just dumping from launch. Like you weren't even getting a little pump, a little buy pressure. It was just straight dumping at launch. Yeah. And that kind of signaled the end of the bull run. That really signaled the end of the bull run.
So
when shitcoin season is done, normally means, hey, we're in for some pain. We're in for some downside.
We could come up with a closed loop system here. Jackie and I have been talking about closed economies, closed cycles, and spiral economies. We could literally like meme out. I was thinking, I was researching this, and I was like, I'm going to start my own meme coin. Let's do this. And I was like, it's the lowest lift. I've started coins before, by the way. I mean, they're easy to do, but, hyping them. And I was like, we could start the Yellen coin and like meme that out, play that on Gensler. And then I was like, no way. But like, I think Jackie has something like wellness, and it's dealing with overwhelm. And so like we could totally do proof of loss. And if you could prove that you lost your shirt, we've got a closed loop economy right there, and then Jackie could actually give them a badge for getting mental health, and then we could rug them and increase their trauma and just start the cycle again. Which sounds like my worst play. So one hand,
Thanos
Dude,
right
Grant,
here.
you are actually Thanos, and I never saw it before, but you have like very logical like ways to convince yourself that we should like destroy certain parts of the population for the better part of the other population. You just talked about rugging someone who's been rugged to traumatize them more. Give them a badge and run them back through the cycle. This is the only logical place where this conversation could have gone. I want you both to know.
And like the
bringing out
final one.
Grant's alter ego.
and I appreciate that right there. That's why I do it for the lulls. That's really why we do it.
Oh, shit. You do it for the lulls? Okay, sure.
My actual worst
God,
play
Grant.
was not Wonderland, believe it or not. I lost. I lost. Yeah, I mean, I have a dollar cost averaging strategy when it comes to shit coins, and in Wonderland, I had 12K to work with others investors' money.
Don't act proud about that.
I'm proud of some aspects, and this thing tanked. But I am proud that I preserved most of our capital. We've dollar cost averaged back quite a bit, but I thought I had learned my lesson. So then I heard about Jade Protocol. Jackie says, I do like the idea of political avatars that we battle meme. Oh my God, like Pogs. You guys remember Pogs?
Yeah.
You guys remember Pogs? Like
Oh,
we could
yeah.
do political avatars. We could do Trump coin. We could do.
There's already Trump NFTs though. We can't do Trump. We could do Kennedy.
Yeah.
We could do Kennedy Jr.
Like
we could
dead
do,
presidents. Okay.
Yeah, we could do like all the political candidates and like
Yeah. And
Biden
go to
coin.
town.
Oh my God. He's just walking away. He's like, I can't handle
I'm
this.
done. And
I'm
so,
done.
like, I went to Jade Protocol.
stay-
What do you got?
Stay on before you go to J Protocol. We created these, and my colleagues sent me them, but they're like chocolate $50 things. But wait.
Oh, okay.
Mercy
Saving
coins,
grace.
baby. Mercy coins.
And as
An
long as there's
actual physical meme to pass
so
out.
I don't get rugged. There's actual chocolate inside, not like an appeal for a $5 donation.
No, it's actually like very nice bougie chocolate. We went for the upgrade, made with premium Belgium chocolate. Anyways,
Okay.
we already have Mercy coins.
I would actually pay for that bag right now. So I went to Jade Protocol. And for those who don't know Jade, this was literally an experiment in how far you could rickroll your public and keep rugging them. I'm telling you, I put money, and then they're like, we're promising 70,000. I'm like, well, I've been here with Wonderland. It's like going to an ex, like a toxic ex. No, literally, you're in the Discord, and they're like, we're gonna dox all of our people, but to dox, we need to hit a certain level in our treasury fund. Hey, we're growing anyway; it doesn't matter. This actually got people to dump more in. When they did the docs, his profile literally changed to Rickroll. And you're like, okay, this should.
Way.
I'm not kidding.
That's
I'm
not real.
I'm not kidding. It literally happened. Go look it up. And so we're like, no way. And they're like, okay, we feel real bad. We definitely are pulling one on you guys. I'll tell you what, stake your Jade and you're gonna get Smarter Coin. Literally, they called it Smarter Coin. And you stake it, and once we have like 60% of everyone having staked, then we'll actually release the Smarter Coin, and then we'll start marketing that. We did that. Everyone's staking their Jade. They're watching the treasury shift from this account to this account. The Smarter token is fractionally lower. And then when we got there, they rickrolled again. And they're like, don't worry. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, but I was literally so hooked in at that point. I was so invested that I was like, I've got to see this out. So I was like, I'm riding this, just like right here, just like Natalie. I'm riding this to zero, and I knew it at that point. Like, I was like, I'm not giving
But
up
they're
now.
still around, aren't they?
I think Smarter is technically still around. Yeah, it's appalling. Anyways, neither here nor there.
But
What?
anyways, let's bring this to a serious conversation.
Let's bring this. So,
Good
but
luck.
what we didn't hear. Hang on. Let's end with this.
Yeah.
Please, if through the duration of the show, you have to confess your crypto sins and tell us your best and worst DJ and play in the comments. But let's transition, and I think you're going to Argentina, are you not?
Well, I was gonna transition a little bit. Like, let's talk about shitcoin season a little bit more and talk about intelligence.
He's like, I'm not done.
Because normally shitcoin season is kind of the advent of the market taking it up, basically a local high, at least like a serious local high. So do you guys think that this is the end market rally? Was this the bear market rally? Are we pulling back down to 16, lower 22? What are you guys thinking? Do you think shitcoin season is signaling that, or we're just having shitcoin season?
Jared, what do you think first?
I don't think it's a historic shitcoin season. Normally, this comes on the end of like people selling Bitcoin, and then they've taken profits, and then they still want to get profits. So then they dump them into Ethereum. This is what happened in 2017 and 2018 when I first got in. And then so it peaked in December 2017, January 2018, and then by February, March, it started to go down. Everyone's in denial. It's going to go back up. By that April and May, I honestly forgot about crypto. To this day, I rue it because I would be in a different place financially had I stayed close to the fire in the last bear market. But as that cascading went down and people took profits, they started to dump them in other things to see if they could get 2 or 3x. And that's how you got what at that point was called altcoin season. For some, I guess they were called shitcoins, but not in the way that we have them today. We just didn't have the certain beasts that we have today. Like this Pepe thing, Gensler, Wojak. I think that these things are just, people are just bored, and Web3 is big enough now that people just come together and they just create coins. I don't think it has anything actually to do with the market. Even when you look at the amount of money that is traded on this, it's still a % of daily traded volume on overall markets.
So Uniswap had its biggest day ever on Pepe trip volume.
Sure, but I'm talking about like global markets. I mean, Bitcoin and Ethereum is still trading like exponential amounts. But that is a great stat, though, to like shout out, as this is a moment. But I don't think that this is part of the traditional altcoin season, as billions of dollars are trickling down and still looking for places to go. I think that this is like Web3 experimenting and just kind of having fun, you know? But I don't know. I could be wrong. I've also seen more people in the NFT community jump into this shitcoin season because Pepe is such a valuable cultural meme on the internet. Whereas normally in my crypto Twitter and my NFT Twitter, there's a little overlap. You guys overlap.
Yeah.
But like, I don't ever see NLC talking about Bitcoin. I don't see NLC talking about Polygon or talking about other things.
She's called more out NLC.
Yeah, I'm not calling her out. I'm just saying she's more focused into NFTs. And other people I know are hyper focused into crypto, and they don't really blend the two. However, the Pepe meme, because it's so big on the internet, I think it's like brought everyone together. So thinking about that, go forward and think about other memes that are on the internet that could be things to get both the crypto and the NFT people off the bench. That's what I would say.
If I may, I think this particular shitcoin season I think this season in crypto is breaking trends. Yes. And so I think it's hard. Oh, Natalie says, yeah, she's right. I mean, he's right. She does focus on NFTs, and there is a correlation now between NFTs and this shitcoin season, or even altcoin season. But what I think is going on here is that the NFT communities are tighter than before. The ones that are sticking. And like, I know Natalie's a part of a few that are actually sticking closer together. Nakamigos is like rallying together, and they've got a lot of mojo. And then they turn their attention to something that they can be market movers for. They can't be market movers for Bitcoin. They can't be market movers for Polygon. But they can be market movers for a meme coin that someone just made up. And so I think that there might be an unintentional rallying around, they're in their groups going, hey, let's rally around this thing. There she goes. She actually confirms this. We pumping everything together. And so these people, and it might not even be in Discord, I'm watching it in Twitter, where they're moving as kind of a flock and going, hey, we could pump this for a 1.5. I got 50%. I got a 1.5x. I was up 3x. And then I realized, you know what? I think I really want to get my profits here. Brian says, Rand Nooner of Crypto Banter thinks the degens are so tired of waiting on a hyperbolic bull run that they're creating their old bull run. I'm agreeing with this, Brian, 100%. I think this is a really intuitive thing. Will that continue? I don't know. But I think right now we're in this weird window where we are waiting for us to jump back to 60K Bitcoin, 100K Bitcoin that we were promised. But we now realize, I think everyone's smart enough to know that we're waiting for the next halving for something real. And I think they're right. I think we're just inventing stuff to pop. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, and George says, Twitter Spaces were filled with NFT people who never bought an altcoin before.
Pepe Twitter Spaces, yeah.
And I guess the other thing is, it's like if the three of us get together and we're like, how do we make a lot of money really quickly in crypto? What do we do? Well, launching an NFT is actually pretty big. And then when it's out there, then you have to go fight for floor prices and there's whitelisting. If you just throw something on a decentralized exchange,
Yeah.
as Aussie's talking about with Uniswap having the craziest amount of exchange volume, that thing's so much easier for people to kind of get into. And Jackie says micro economies, hyper localized LFG. I wonder what that stands for. So it's almost like and that's where I do. Okay. I said that I think Web3 people are just kind of sitting around and just like being creative or whatever, or playing around. You play most when you're bored, when the
Yes.
shiny object no longer
Yes.
like attracts you. And that's why I actually had a podcast on More Than Blockchain this year where I talked about the power of boredom. That was the way I started off this year, saying,
Yeah.
I wish everyone finds boredom. I wish we put down our phones, we put down our laptops, and we just go out and we find boredom and let our mind run. And I think that, some people came together and they created this Pepe coin because George was telling me, and Aussie, I'd love your take on this, and Grant as well, but George was saying that like, basically the guys behind Pepe coin, like the team behind Pepe coin is like a fairly serious team as far as like shit coins go.
Yes.
It's not like just looking at it, you're getting a little bit more under the hood. It's not like a joke, even though it is a joke, and that's how Dogecoin started. Like the Dogecoin SHIB as well. But
and now they have a whole
founder,
architecture. They have a
they're
staking.
L2. They're an L2 now.
Yeah, they have their own layer. That's right.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So these things are gonna have like, and I don't know. I'm thinking about like a 12-year. I'm constantly thinking about Generation Alpha. What are they gonna be into? And I think it'd be really cool for if you're gonna get someone a birthday present, like maybe giving Bitcoin at that point will seem like being a boomer or being a millennial. But it's like, dude, my friend gave me $100 a Pepe coin. Sweet. It went down the next day by 90%, but dude, I had $100 of Pepe coin. That may almost be cooler than getting an actual $100 of Bitcoin. That actually
if you
keeps
study
value.
memes, if you study memes beyond crypto, memes have and long before they're memes that we know, memes ran in this cultural zeitgeist even before the internet. And what were memes? When the internet came along and we started, for lack of a better term, objectifying them, and by that I just mean adding art to them to symbolize them as a talisman before crypto. They had this huge cultural impact because they were. It's kind of like a Gary. What's the newspaper cartoonist? The Far Side. It just caught so much in a single graphic that really resonated with people, which is what made that comic strip so funny. And memes like meme lords, I have the hugest respect for meme admins because they are actually at a next level big brain. Like I use the phrase big brain. That came from a meme guy who thought, or a gal, who thought of a meme and put it together. And this idea of, your brain on X, your brain on Y, your brain when you X, Y, and Z. These sorts of things capture so much as what I call like almost mythological talismans. And then you add Web3 to it. I love Dogecoin. I love it because I think someone in the post, I think it was Brian or maybe George, who said an altcoin is probably a meme coin or a shit coin that's stuck. And it's like, and this goes back to a truth about money. Money only exists because we choose to believe in it. And at some point we started believing in Doge. And here comes Elon going, I'll just stick it on a rocket ship. I'll take payment for this. And you go, well, remember Pizza Day with Bitcoin? Where someone's like, shit, I'll take 10,000 Bitcoin for a pizza. Let's roll. And that to me is a beautiful thing about the human species, that we can begin believing in something as ridiculous as it is, green money with someone's face on it, and suddenly it has real value. Go ahead, Jared. What's that thought?
Yeah, but my thought was that it goes back to like the larger conversation that I've been having with people around fiat, because the second you learn about Bitcoin and you just start to think, because a lot of people say, oh, Bitcoin only has value because people believe in it. And then it's like, but how is that any different from the US dollar? Now, there's arguments there that like, yeah, our military basically forces it upon people because it's the petrodollar. But like, there's actually no difference. And then when you look at the dollar as something that has an infinite supply, basically one node, no protocol, no decision, you're like, oh my God, and then so this idea of believability is really strong. And so that's the question that I have for both of you. What is the meme that's going to be next? Is it Yellen? Is it like,
we need to start the Yellen coin. I think it would run, and I think we could pull a meme lord move and do something about it.
So the only reason why I'm apprehensive to start a coin is because I saw this piece of this guy. He was from the States, and he started a coin, and it went crazy. People
Yeah.
made a lot of money, but then when it crashed, he got on the hook, and he got in serious trouble. So this isn't for others to watch. I'm not sure who said that. This is for everyone. Shitcoins are for everyone.
Yeah.
Give us context, if you will. And if you're just piping in, Organic 723, we are rarely talk this much about shitcoins. We should probably let this moment that we're talking about believing in a dollar, that should bridge us to Argentina.
Yeah, Aussie. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, come right.
That's
But-
literally when he started talking about the petrodollar. I was like, we need to dive into this.
But I will say this before we transition. Organic 723, give us more context and we'll unpack that for you, definitely. But Aussie, give us context on what's going on in Argentina for real. Now we're going to get serious.
Now we're getting serious. So let's talk about let's be serious. So you just talked about the U.S. military and the petrodollar. So IMF just bailed out Argentina. Argentina was having rapid inflation. They were running out of dollars. So the IMF, the good old IMF, here to save everybody, decides to loan Argentina $45 billion to help bail them out of this scenario that they're getting into, this problem. But the nice thing about the IMF is they always have very important terms to their loans, including privatizing your water or a million other different things.
Oh, interesting.
But this time, one of the IMF's terms was you must take an anti-crypto stance in Argentina if you want this loan.
And I challenged you on this, Aussie, and you gave me a link, which keep going. I will drop this link in the comments for everybody. Go ahead.
And basically the federal bank, the central bank of Argentina came out saying, hey, we cannot allow regular entities to use Bitcoin or crypto because we've decided to take this loan. And so is this a way that we're going to see the IMF and the US try to enforce, basically stop the de-dollarization and protect the US dollar by using the IMF and their tools within the World Economic Forum to basically leverage these smaller countries who could benefit from crypto like El Salvador has?
So you're saying, let's pause this. You're saying this could, in theory, be a strategy for the U.S. to prevent the de-dollarization?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
That's the whole thing. They don't want people, the IMF, the WEF, whoever, the global order doesn't want people going away from anything that's not the dollar, which is the current way that stability, quote, stability happens on the planet. And if people if Argentines are allowed to start buying stable coins and buying Bitcoin, which I think they should, then that undermines that, because then they're not basically buying into dollars, and they need to continue to back the Argentine government with dollars, not Bitcoin. And so having the Argentine central bank basically not even have that opportunity in the future, like when things get bad. I mean, Argentina's been dealing with inflation for 30 or 40 years. You know, they're just always in peaks and valleys. That country has suffered more than any other country, probably in the Western Hemisphere, in inflation. We always look to Venezuela right now because that's been an extreme case and it happened really quickly. It cascaded almost overnight. But from the early 2000s into the 1990s and I think even into the 80s, Argentina's really, really struggled with inflation. So like they should have a Bitcoin-backed treasury, even if it's only 10%, because then as Bitcoin increases, it's going to just continue to back them even more. But having the IMF come out and say you have to take an anti-crypto stance is so dangerous. And they're setting a precedent too for when other countries need a bailout. They know what the terms are going to be because it's already like, case law, if you will, if it were like, in the United States.
Exactly. That's why the IMF and the World Economic Forum hate El Salvador so much. Because El Salvador has gotten themselves, not entirely, but they've gotten themselves out of the standard country debt cycle that forces people on the US dollar.
Yeah.
Because they're backing their treasuries with Bitcoin.
Now, is the implication of this, if that is true, is the implication of this that the IMF and the World Economic Forum are drawing are taking sides in the de-dollarization, basically the global East versus the global West. China, Russia, and all of its supporters versus Western ideal of we'll stay on the U.S. Is that them drawing a line in the sand?
Sort of. I mean, the IMF is mainly backed by the US. And so it's the US enforcing their power on these smaller countries that are dependent on their aid. So this is not necessarily global East, global West. This is global North, and particularly the US enforcing and trying to protect itself against the global South.
Against the global South.
Yeah.
Where does
So-
China fall in that?
China and Russia and BRICS is kind of like this whole other problem. So global South is
Interesting.
essentially,
Interesting.
if we look at this issue in like three layers, you've got the US, which is also the IMF and the World Economic Forum. You've got the global South, and then you've got BRICS. So China, Russia, India, South Africa, and I think there's someone else there.
Brazil.
Is Russia
Brazil.
is Russia a BRICS nation?
Yeah, Russia's
Yeah.
a BRICS nation.
It's Brazil,
realize
Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And
Oh,
I love
okay.
the way Austin said that there's layers because that's how I see it as well. And it's kind of like a rectangle and a square. One can be the other, but the other can't be, it
Yeah.
doesn't go both ways. And
Yeah.
so in the global South, you have Brazil, India, China's now out of there in some level. Brazil, India, China, and then South Africa. So while many of those countries are still part of the global South, they're so big in industry. And I mean, India's just passed China as far as size, population. And like
Interesting.
the idea behind the BRICS is that these are the future. This is the future of the world.
This
for
is
a
the
while,
future G7.
Yeah, this is the future G7.
Their
Exactly.
GDP is now greater than the G7
Oh,
Exactly.
by PPP,
So
by
it was
purchasing
like
power.
old world Europe, and then the Americas showed up. And the next is a lot more decentralized, going into these different places: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So they are the new G7. And the current G7 isn't obviously the current G7. It behooves the current G7 because they have all their treasuries in dollars to back up what the IMF is doing or what the United States wants them to do, which is to keep everyone on the dollars. The second we go away from the dollars, the way the world is kind of running right now gets really funky quick. And it's going to put more power in hands that traditionally haven't had power. And that's not something I think anyone's interested in.
so let me ask this. So we're talking some serious macroeconomics, and what I love about being in crypto, someone asked me, why were you in New York City? That looks like a Comic-Con. I was like, it's like Comic-Con, but everyone there is fairly intellectual and at minimum monetary savvy. And what I love about it is it forces us to become savvy about money policy for ourselves. And we talk about self-custody a lot. So we go from the macro to the micro very quickly. If we had our vision, and I want to get to Jackie's comment here in a second. If we had our vision of self-custody and people were truly into Bitcoin and into self-custody, wouldn't that also accelerate the de-dollarization? No? Bueller?
I don't see it as much as accelerating the de-dollarization if we self-custody. De-dollarization has a lot to do with debt and medians of exchange. And so if we self-custody our money, that doesn't really matter. What matters is the government loaning other governments money? Are governments borrowing money to pay expenses? Is Jarrett borrowing money to buy a house? It's all around debt and the flow of money around debt.
But in a self-custody world, we're doing DeFi loans. We're out of the debt system, and we are. And I know you're talking about loaning between countries, but for example, I happen to, Jackie and I talked at length about this missional sense that she feels of really helping, like microeconomies, but microeconomies build up to macroeconomies. So if Argentines were, self-custodying and suddenly their government didn't need a $44 billion bailout because they're not even on their own monetary system, does it ever play out that the true full vision of a crypto-driven self-custody world, if we accomplish our mission of onboarding the world, doesn't that create doesn't that mean there is central banking destabilization? Like they are destabilized.
Because see that there was something very important there that you mentioned was you said self-custodying, and
Okay.
then there's a difference between self-custodying and decentralizing and DeFi.
Interesting.
So
I
I can
agree.
self-custody all of my crypto right now,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean I can take DeFi loans. And then I'm paying all of my expenses via crypto, and I'm buying my
Interesting.
house with a mortgage on collateral from my DeFi loan against my
Okay.
DeFi assets. And so that is a really key piece to distinguish, because self-custody is a best practice. Decentralization and decentralized finance is a whole nother layer.
Interesting.
That's a next step. Like, we're not at DeFi right now.
Gotcha.
We're talking in general. Crypto is starting to understand the importance of self-custody. We're seeing more and more self-custody rather than just holding on exchange, especially after FTX.
Interesting.
But we're not at a point where we're doing DeFi, where DeFi as an actual decentralized
function.
as a daily function and as an actual economic system is it's not there yet. We're not at that level. That's kind of where people are striving for, but we're not there.
So I just want to say good morning, Sean Clark. Thanks for stopping by, man, all the way from Australia. Jared, do you want to kind of unpack what Jackie's talking about, at least briefly, or give an overview there?
Yeah, I think it's interesting that we're starting to see like in a high school cafeteria where everyone sits with who they want to like hang out with. And you have BRICS and you have the European Union. And one of the hopes that I've always had is that Argentina, and I was actually, when I was taking a Lyft to the airport yesterday to come down to Austin, I had a Dominican Lyft driver, and we spoke the entire time just about like the world economy and everything. And he had bought some Bitcoin, and we were just talking about that. And he sends money down to the DR, and he was like, yeah, it's like, every once in a while I'll use it because it's easier. And we were talking about the dream that kind of Simon Bolivar had, which was like, we need to unite this entire continent. And he was never able to do it. Hence the general in his labyrinth, right? Like just trying to figure it out and can't do it. And why don't other people, And so I've always wanted to see that in the South America, like have a European Union, but in South America,
Interesting.
at least for the currency. So you're not, because then maybe Argentina doesn't have whatever. But the vista that she's talking about, that Jackie's talking about, is it's an acronym for Vietnam, Indonesia, South Africa, Turkey, and Argentina.
Interesting.
And it's interesting to see South Africa called out in another high school clique.
That's what I was wondering.
Because clearly their geography, or there's something about South Africa. And I honestly am not really understanding about South Africa's economy and why they're bricked in with the BRICS, linked in with the BRICS, and also in Vista. But I do think it's interesting to see the world start to kind of look for lifeboats, like when shit gets bad, you look for other people to hang out.
You bond,
with,
yeah.
Right? Like it's not crazy to think that like all of this with Not Crypto Bros happened in a bear market. We'll look back in 5 years and be like, oh, that happened in a bear market.
Yeah.
Why did that happen? Well, we wanted to come together and we wanted to talk with other people. I saw right before I logged on here a guy on Twitter who's like, hey, I stack Bitcoin. I have a bunch of friends with you on Twitter. He had a bunch of likes or retweets. I don't know who this guy is, but I like look for Bitcoin content. And he said, but I don't know anyone in real life. I would love to meet up with some people, like leave comments. Let's figure it out. And so everyone's looking for one another. And I do think like if one day, or you could put it into ChatGPT eventually, if not now, but like you'll be able to say, explain the Pepe craze that happened in 2023 using a historical lens around boredom, kind of there's trauma out there
Economic
for people in the
cycles.
market, economic strife, whatever that is, and they'll be able to be like, well, this happens a lot throughout human history. We all come together
Yes.
when times are tough. We try to like latch on to other people,
Yeah.
and so the Vista thing is interesting, and I just think long term for the United States really needs to think about what the hell's going to happen, not in 2 years,
Yeah.
not in 1 year with the election, but in 50 years, because that is the way that China and Russia think. They think 50 years down the line. And I don't know right now if because the United States is kind of like a shit coin. It's like a meme coin. It's like fun for a little bit, but it's just lasted forever. But like some of the veneer is starting to come off. And I don't know if people don't want to take the dollar, if the dollar becomes something that's like not great, it's not a good thing for any of us who make the dollar. And G'day Crypto says, Sean says, South Africa has lots of gold. That is why. I was going to say it's probably rich in a certain mineral, whatever it is. I mean, no one would care about Saudi Arabia if they didn't have oil.
Yeah.
Like that's how this game works.
I mean, this is a good explanation. The other kind of explanation that's coming up to me a lot and I'm thinking about is if you look at a lot of the countries in Vista and in BRICS less so, but Vista especially, it's a lot of where a lot of goods are moving from or are being produced. So
for sure.
Argentina is a key passageway if you look in for gateway of goods in South America.
Yeah.
Indonesia and Vietnam, we're seeing a lot of production of goods coming out of Vietnam and Indonesia. Turkey is the same thing. They've also got oil and some other natural resources that are being produced in Turkey.
Turkey's just geographically so
Silk
important
Road,
between
all
Europe,
that stuff,
Asia, and like Northern Africa.
Exactly. So it's kind of a gateway type thing. So that's why it makes sense. And then if you think of BRICS, it's mainly kind of Asia oriented, but China, India, you've got big production powerhouses, development powerhouses, and then you got South Africa, who kind of plays. That's your stopping point as you're coming through around the coast before you head to Europe or you head up to North America or wherever. So
I really like this point about the economic cycles. Jackie says trade imports. Yep, One Belt Road or the Silk Road or whatever you want to call it.
Maybe not the Silk Road.
Not the website, like the historical.
I know. It was a joke. Okay. It was a joke. It was a joke.
I don't think everyone knows.
Joe, there was layers there. Layers. Everyone knows. Everyone knows. Everyone went to middle school, right?
Oh, that's true. That's how I got on the dark web, by the way. So I like these economic cycles argument because I think what we often forget is we get so enamored with the technology and with the new jargon that we lose sight that all that's going on with crypto is a moderately sized economic cycle of technology, which this is almost a replay, almost identically. Aside from nuance, which makes all the difference, but on the mid-level, like it's the same replay of internet. Like the rollout is, and that's why we call it, that's not why, that goes along with us calling it like the new internet. But if you go into like human cycles, empire cycles, there's a really old book called Rome and Christianity and the Rise of the Roman Empire, or something like that. It was an old book written in the 1700s, I think, by one of the founding fathers, and they just followed empire cycles and what goes on with empires. And we're talking about the de-dollarization, but that's just on the monetary end of America losing its strength as the world power. And it's inevitable. Dollar is just the next component. We've already done it with manufacturing. We've lost our grip on outflows, all that sort of stuff. Now we also have a very jumbled, we never really had a strong culture except a culture of domination, which I do believe is something we did contribute positively in small ways, aside from all the negative ways we impacted the rest of the world with that. So I think we're actually seeing this, and you're right, we bonded together. Look at the NFT communities. They're bonding together, and they're like, when Lambo, we make fun of that because it's really degen, but really, it's the same as the Greek slave class bonding together and saying, when freedom. They were watching the Roman or the city-state basically fall apart, and the slave class got together and were overthrowing these systems because it didn't work for them, and they realized how powerful they were. And I think that's what you're seeing with a lot of these people that bunch into an NFT. It's just the new technology. And this is what I think is different. And this is where I think the nuance is important. I think individual sovereignty, self-custody, and the technologies of DeFi might be able to preserve a lot of us in this transition. Because nation states are still playing the same game, playbook. You got Vista, which I just learned about from y'all and Jackie. You've got BRICS. We've got the East, the West, the Global South. All of these groups. We've got the African Union, the Europe. They are doing these groupings because they're going, okay, stuff's getting real. Shit's going down. Who am I going to run with? Just like you did in high school. That was a great metaphor. And I think individuals who are getting lost in the mix are looking towards these technologies going, I wonder if I play well in this world if I don't have my lifeboat. I think that was such a good call out, Jarrett. And I agree that not only on this economic cycle, but on the human empire cycle, I think this is 100% what's happening. And we're making friends all over the country. I think the technology is actually keeping a lot of us afloat at minimum with hope of what we might be able to do next. I think that's a big one, man. That was a big one. Now, real quick, first off, any other thoughts on this? Because we didn't call out Stand with Crypto that Allison pointed out on her Twitter, the Stand with Crypto thing. Did you guys have any other thoughts on this before we transition to that real quick?
I mean, you summarized it pretty well. I think it's a topic that we're not going to crack in 30 minutes on Not Crypto Bros. It'll be a running thread, and I think it's something that we got to keep talking about, especially because, I mean, BRICS is getting ready for their annual meeting. They've already had 17 new nations apply, either formally or informally, to join BRICS.
I didn't know that you could just apply. What are they going to call it? Like, what letters are they going to add?
We don't know.
BRICS-Stantonople?
Yeah.
17 countries.
Yeah, they're only going to take applications based on where they want the acronym to go.
Yeah.
That's it. They got Djibouti in there or something.
Yeah. So,
Djibouti. Great country, by the way. Starts with the letter
Great
D.
country.
Yeah.
Starts with a D.
So we don't know who they're going to accept, or if they're going to accept anybody.
Yeah. And I'm sure they're making it up as they go. Like, we were just called this and now we are this. They were a shitcoin that's turning into an altcoin.
That's true. That's true. Actually, they were the altcoin. I just don't know if they're going to shitcoin or if they're going to be like a Bitcoin.
Yeah,
we'll
Doge.
see.
We'll see. So real quick, Allison posted, and Jared, did you see this about the Stand with Crypto?
Yeah, I saw it. Brian Armstrong had tweeted it, and I
Yes.
looked at it, and it was like gonna mint, and I was just like, this is just a ploy to get my ENS. Like, to get my ETH address. I don't need to do that to say I stand with crypto. You know, I guess I just felt like it was just like signing a petition to stop school shooting in a state where I don't vote. Like, it's cool, but I don't really feel like it seems symbolic. It just seems symbolic.
It
What's
is
wrong
a
with
symbolic
symbolism?
move it is symbolism made by Coinbase. Coinbase is trying to do symbolism.
Exactly. Coinbase is,
it's part of
and
their
they want
430
my ETH address.
Oh, they
I
already
guess I'm
have
just
your
trying-
ETH address. Let's be honest.
They don't have my MetaMask. At least I don't think, or I hope not.
They probably
But I
have
guess
your
my-
MetaMask. Because did you mint a base NFT?
Damn it. Next subject. I did mint a base NFT.
Did
But I guess
I
the
just
point
break
is-
your argument right there?
The argument was broke. But
do
I
wanna
guess
hear
I
this.
just feel like putting up a shield in my Twitter account doesn't do anything. The guy that owns fucking Twitter loves crypto. What else can we do? It doesn't matter. Like, I guess I just feel like it's a bigger thing. And I don't know. I feel like I live and breathe crypto these days.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I orange pill as many of my friends that will listen to me for longer than 5 minutes. You know, like, I don't know. I feel like Alice is out there doing the Lord's work with onboarding people in education. So it felt weird because I feel like if you're in the space, you don't have to do that. Like, I don't need to wear a t-shirt. Like, Grant doesn't need to wear a t-shirt that says I go to the gym every day. Do you? Like, he just goes to the gym.
No,
You know what I
To be
mean?
fair, his choice in shirt says I go to the gym every day.
That's true.
And those shorts. Those, come on.
So anyways, and that's not to yuck anyone, and that's not to yuck anyone's yum. Like, as if Allison did it, because I thought about it. I really thought about it, but I was like, Brian Armstrong's doing this because he basically owns Coinbase. He has like a reason to do it. It just feels weird. It feels like when politicians try to get you like really pumped up to do something, and I'm like, this is not the same game.
Interesting.
I don't know. I didn't feel the unity that maybe other people felt. I felt it to seem like kind of a hollow thing, because I feel like every single one of us on the chat, on this call, every single day we're working to make crypto a reality.
Yeah.
So whether we put that on our badge or not,
Yeah.
I don't think it shifts anything. That's
No,
all.
it is part of their other grassroots efforts that they're doing with Crypto 435 or 465. I can't remember. However many
Mhm.
jurisdictions there are in the U.S. It's to
I've seen that. I've seen that too.
Yeah.
I've
I haven't
that as
seen
well.
this. What is
Yeah, I've seen
this?
it's part of their grassroots efforts that they're trying to organize to help support candidates that are pro crypto.
Okay.
It's being organized by Coinbase. So like I kind of just saw this as an extension of what they were doing
Of that campaign.
Of that campaign. I get it. I minted one just for the point of minting one and for
Yeah.
the posterity. I'm not an American, so what all crazy stuff you guys do, as long as
Province 12. How many provinces do you have? Yeah.
13
Oh,
territories.
I was almost right.
13 territories.
That's
I
an
believe.
American accurate right there. That's
You have 13 provinces. I feel like that's the same amount of districts they had in the Hunger Games. You may want to consider that.
We'll
We're
see.
the ones. We're the
Uh,
ones with the capital district, bro. We're the ones with the
Yeah.
capital district.
That's
All right,
true.
boys. Shout outs. We're high past the hour. As Jackie said, from meme coins, aka shit coins, to global economic theory, that was full spectrum. This was beefy. I really appreciate that. Shout outs. Who you got?
I'll go and then pass it to Aussie. My shout out is to anyone that made money with Pepe, or to anyone that lost money with Gensler, Pepe, or Wojak. We are here for you.
We're here for you.
We're here for you.
Yeah.
We may not return your DMs if you complain, but we're here for you. We saw it. We're leaving you on red for a reason. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, if you lost money in a shitcoin, honestly, reach out. Like, I want to hear about your experience. I want to hear about why you got in. What was the thing? Because we're all like, everyone in crypto is always just like a Connect wallet away from like doing something stupid. But what made you actually do it this time? I'm just fascinated.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like we should bring our researcher friend that we met at
Kate.
NFT NYC, Kate, and gather this data for her and ask her
why people do this.
Why did people do
what?
this?
Yeah, what is the human psychology behind buying a shitcoin? So, anyways, that's my shout out. Seriously, if you've lost money, you never want to lose money. Like to quote Warren Buffett, there's only one rule: don't lose money.
Yeah.
So, if you're breaking that one rule, reach out. We're here.
Yeah.
Aussie?
I'm gonna shout out NLC for showing up here and urging us into our conversation about shitcoins, and then to Jackie and Sean for helping, and Brian for helping bring us to some sense and bringing us to economics, to a real conversation. So
I love it. Yeah, man. A shout out to all the new vocab I've been getting, and this spiral economies that Jackie got me on just really triggered something in me that I think like I've been brewing on my compassion for development work and where Web3 overlaps with that, but also the Web3 ethos. And I literally have it on draft right now, the new model of small business leadership. And it's taken largely, it was a concept I had a little while ago, but the spiral economies idea really put the final component into place for me. And that was blending an economic theory with Web3 technologies. And I think it is possible for us to pivot that in a nearly sustainable way, but there's a mega shift happening culturally. So I shout out you guys for carrying us, as Jackie said, into a real full spectrum conversation that I actually got a lot out of. So I really appreciate that. Jarrett, take us home, brother.
Yeah, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Find us at Not Crypto Bros. You can also find our individuals. We're on Twitter. We'll leave them somewhere. I don't know. Just go to Not Crypto Bros. We're all there. And we'll see you next week at Tuesday at 3:30 Eastern time.
Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Have a good one.